Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Marvel's Inhumans. This is Season 1, Episode 6. The gentleman's name is Gorgon. I am your host for tonight, Jacob, and with me I have Clio.
Hello.
And down there we have, who do we have there? Oh, it's Rachel.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, 6 episodes in. What are we thinking of this one?
I seem that there's like a role reversal now between Black Bolt and Medusa, and it's really confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on here? What's happening?
Well, I find myself, saying the exact same thing through every episode of this show.
What the hell is going on? What's happening?
What's going on? I don't know. I thought I had it pinned down, but then she goes and like brings up her parents, and then she's like trying to be the voice of reason to him, and I'm like, but it was the other way around. You were the one being the bitch, and he was being the voice of reason, and now what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this show definitely fucks with your mind, and not in the good way, not in the fun way. We start off with the episode with this trippy-ass dream sequence of Maximus's.
Okay. It wasn't as trippy as it could have been, and it wasn't like it was tricking us into thinking they were actually there. It like missed all of the marks that I think it was trying to hit.
And it's definitely a dream that you not necessarily have had before, or something. It's like one of those dreams that you have had before.
Yeah, it's a dream that makes sense for him to have, but
and he's slowly descending into madness.
Yep. Going crazy.
This episode definitely, we all kind of speculated, but this episode definitely sounded like Max is going nuts. He's a big scoop.
Well, we have the royal family coming in saying that Maximus is the one who killed Triton. Still don't know where is Triton. I don't know. Is he dead?
He became king of the sea.
And had
bad
8
joke.
daughters.
Sorry, bad joke, because he fell into the ocean.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't made clear, but I was assuming that Maximus had him killed.
He did. He hired the gunman.
But we don't know if he's actually dead or not.
Yeah, we don't know. He jumped into the ocean, but then we haven't heard anything.
Just like Medusa's hair, his prosthetics would have been too expensive.
His green skin. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we don't know. I mean, even in this episode now, the doctor was like, "Who's Maximus?" He's finally, it's like he's waking up, going, "Who am I working for now?"
Yeah, the pieces are clicking.
And he was like, "I don't even know. I don't want this now." So he's not necessarily a bad guy. He just didn't know, like I said before, he didn't know who he was working for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that he knows, he's like, I don't like it.
I don't want to make it stop.
There was something interesting brought up about Maximus and Black Bolt's parents. Whether or not Maximus killed them.
Yeah.
Because we always saw it was, Black Bolt saying one word, like why or whatnot to his parents, and his parents died, but we don't know for sure that's how it happened. It might have been just how he thought it happened, kind of, blocked memory seepage.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't know too much about the backstory, and I don't think we're going to get a lot of it in this short season. If it continues, I hope they do go back and direct, a lot of the backstory. Because
please elaborate and make it interesting.
Because it would make things a little more clear as to why things are happening and why things did happen the way they did.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think Maximus is the best and most interesting character on this show. I would like to see his dynamic with his brother, maybe at a younger age, or, you know, what their family life was like.
Yeah.
And if he did have them killed, you know, why? What caused him to do that? And how did he do that? I want to see the circumstances leading up to where we are now.
Yeah. I mean, and even with Medusa's family, her dynamics, they're intertwined. So if you tell his story, you're going to have to tell hers. And so we don't know exactly what was going on. Their parents were obviously friends at one point, but then, you know, they had different of opinions and, you know, how to rule things. And so they got vanished.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to have seen, you know, and I find myself, you know, doing this a lot with this show where I wish things happened and I wish things would have happened a certain way and they just don't. Like, I had so many ideas running through my mind about what this show could have been. And when I first heard of this show, I was thinking maybe it's going to be like Game of Thrones. Well, Game of Thrones, like a really, 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 really watered down version of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you can always go so far.
That'll get past the network censors.
Yeah. Because, like, wouldn't that have been interesting? Family dynamics and, like, you know, you could make politics interesting.
Yeah, I mean...
And they're like, they've obviously, I mean, they even said that they lived on Earth for a long time, but then, you know, humans, and they're natural here for things that aren't like them to want to either, you know, kill it or, you know, do scientific studies on it.
Yeah, but we don't even know that that's what happened. That's what generations and generations of Inhumans on the moon have been telling them.
Yep, exactly. But we know that they've been down here, and they've been told they know about humans, they know about Earth and stuff like that. But when they came down here, they acted like they knew absolutely nothing. Like, well, I am the queen, you know, blah blah blah.
Well,
and it's like, you know what? You're not the queen down here. You should. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
They learned everything they know about Earth from television, so I think that kind of sums up why they're acting like that, because television does not give you an accurate representation of society.
They could have played that up for comedic effect.
I think that would have made it bad. That would have put it over the edge.
But it's bad now. And I think,
yeah, but it could be worse. It could always be worse.
It could be worse, but I think, like, if you did use it for comedic effect, it would have been something. And that's what I'm getting from the show. I'm getting nothing. Like, there was Scooby-Doo did this better, and I'm going to explain why. So there was a movie of Scooby-Doo about aliens, and there's this woman and her dog, and they dress very like late 60s, and they speak in out-of-date references. And then at the end, we find out that they're aliens. And they said, oh, we just assumed that all humans dress and speak this way because we saw it on TV.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It was very confusing. It's like you go to a place, it doesn't even matter if it's Earth or whatnot. It's like, even if you're like a royalty, you know, in this place, if you go to that place, your royalty does not carry over.
But you're thinking of it in terms of Earth, where we know there are other countries right next to us. They're living on the moon, where Earth is so far away, and all they know is Adelan. There's no other society. There's no other governmental structure. So
that they know of.
But they do know of Earth, and so going there and just automatically thinking that, you know, they're going to get special rental treatment or something because they're the queen. I mean, kind of ridiculous.
I mean that is an interesting point of view of, like, well, this is all we know, so, like, to us, it's not, you know, going to be that much different. It's different when you experience these things firsthand. So ultimately, you know, first time going down there, they're not going to know how things work.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're lucky she knew how to ride the bus. I mean,
well, I understand. No, I know, but they seemed, I know they're royalties, but they just seemed very entitled in a place where they shouldn't have felt entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, I know they feel entitled, but at the same time, it's like, you should know that you have no power in this place.
I feel like really only Medusa and Crystal felt, or like had any sort of entitlement there. And I mean, to a certain extent, Black Bolt, because he left with the suit. But then again, he probably doesn't know what money is, so...
We could have had an interesting commentary about... this could have been interesting because we had these... In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we had so many people with the emergence of Inhumans. We had so many people just, like, despise Inhumans. And, you know, just the fact that they exist. They hated that. It could have been interesting with this show if we would have seen the opposite of that with the Inhumans being prejudiced against, you know, normal humans.
Well, they kind of were. Not, like, to the extent of, like, wanting them dead, but to the extent of, you know, if they find out, they'll be against us.
Yeah, so, I don't know, they think they introduced things, and they went about things really weird.
Yeah.
And so this episode made it even more confusing when they kind of switched the roles of Black Bolt and Medusa.
I don't think they switched the roles. I think she's not translating properly. And actually, this episode answered my confusion about, you know, whether or not the rest of them understand him. They cannot.
And they not.
She is the only one who knows his sign language, which doesn't look like American Sign Language, so they must have just made it up for the show.
It's like pantomime. It's just like playing charades or something. And it is really, and yeah, I mean, we said it before, we don't think that she's translating exactly what he wants. So he might be getting frustrated with her.
I think up until this point, she's been translating appropriately. I think now that he's trying to communicate that he wants his brother dead, she refuses to translate that properly, and he's getting angry. You can, like, see it in his face when she translates. He's like, what the fuck? Stop that.
Well, I feel like this is not the first time she has, you know, understood what he was saying, but had translated it wrong.
This is definitely the first time Black Bolt has cared, I think.
Well, I just like to think that she fucks with him all the time.
She fucks with. I can see her doing that. I can see him saying one thing and her going, "Oh well, that's not gonna be right." And then she's saying it just a little bit different, than, you know, a little spin on it. But I think he's probably given her a little too much leeway because he loves her so much, and she is his voice. Which really sucks because he needs to have someone else. And I mean, he's like, after all this, your brother doesn't know how to communicate with you?
Well, they hate each other.
They're his cousins, though. Like, he loves his cousins.
And they don't know how to communicate with you?
Yeah, I think that's a problem. I think...
That's kind of sad.
It's very sad, yeah.
I'm guessing this little pantomime makeshift... sign language is something that, if we did get a backstory, it's something that Medusa and him made up together.
Yeah, it's their secret language.
It's like their secret language, yeah.
Can we talk about Maximus more?
Sure.
So we have Maximus sending out his little disciples after Black Bolt.
Oh my god.
They're not soldiers.
No. They were completely ineffectual.
But that's not the point, though.
I know.
That's not the ultimate goal. No. So, well, actually, you know what? Maybe if you... killing Black Bolt is not going to, you know, make people love you.
No. But it's going to stop him from coming back and killing him.
Yes, but I think...
if Black Bolt kills these people, they're going to hate Black Bolt.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. Well, that might help. Well, actually, it could completely backfire on him. People would be like, you know, why the fuck you sent out these, you know, fucking miners and Black Bolt killed every single one of them. What the fuck did you do that for? But just because you paint Black Bolt in a bad light does not necessarily mean people are going to paint you in a good light.
No, but if, like, with smear campaigns, you put enough dirt on your opponent and everyone's gonna...
You're gonna look like a sparkling piece of
exactly.
shit. I don't know. All I keep thinking every time I see that guys, that boy's father's big meaty claws.
Yeah.
DJ knows what I'm talking about.
Did they try to play the clarinet?
SpongeBob reference, if you got it.
Mayonnaise an instrument?
Mayonnaise an instrument.
No,
but yeah,
no, Patrick. Mayonnaise is not an instrument.
But yeah, that's all I kept thinking. But yeah, but that guy, he's so... he was so loyal to a fault, and it's like, and his son is just like, oh my god, my dad's gonna die.
Yeah. And I mean, because Maximus isn't ending the caste system.
No.
He's giving the miners a way to get out of their servitude if they conscript. So if they fight for him, then they get out of being miners.
It's not really getting rid of the caste system. It's just you're being 8. You can move up if you needed to.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. If you were willing to sell your soul, you can move up.
So basically, it's not enough. And I think the only way this can end is Black Bull come back and just abolish it completely.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, their little piece of the moon is not big enough to hold all those people. And you think about it, I mean, how long have they been there? And it's just been reproduced, and then everyone's like related to a certain extent. It's gonna, at some point, it's gonna collapse.
They said how many there were.
Yeah. It's like almost like trying to hold the whole city of LA into the city of, you know, some BFE place in the Midwest, you know. It's
Freeport, Louisiana.
Yeah, it's like it's not going to have it. At some point, it's going to bust.
You got like 30 people in like a 2-bedroom house. You got people in the cars, people in the porta potties. It's like, it's not good.
And I understand that, you know, that Maximus did. I mean, his ultimate goal is to take over Earth, even though, I mean, he does say that is. And he's right, but on one thing he is right. There is enough room down here for them.
I mean, the moon itself is small compared to Earth.
Mm-hmm. But their little living space is even smaller. They're living in a crater, basically.
And we could have had. I think what's interesting is that there are so many themes here that they could really tackle, like overpopulation. And, you know, what are they doing to solve it? Well,
I think that's what and they don't make it clear, but I think that's what the mining is for, to make more room.
Yeah, they're mining down instead of going out.
Well, eventually you're going to go out through the other side.
Yeah. There's only so far you can go down before,
But
basically,
again,
like an ant colony. They're just going to have things underground.
But again, that's another thing they don't make clear, and then it makes you wonder, like, wait, why are there even miners? Why do they even have to be digging right now?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I keep finding myself thinking is, like, okay, you're deemed not useful, or your powers are deemed not useful, you get sent to work in the mines. But if your powers are deemed useful, it seems like you just hang around.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like...
These people have jobs.
Exactly. Do they have jobs? Or are their powers just nice and like the lady with butterfly wings? That's a fucking useless power in almost any society. It's pretty, but like, what the fuck is she gonna do? She's gonna be a messenger. It's gonna be a postal service worker?
No, they haven't defined, like, how the society works. Well, like, we know that, you know, this is the royal family. If your powers suck, then, you know, you go to the mines, and if your powers are somewhat useful, then, like, you can, like,
all you can do.
Well, but like, what we don't see, like, what are these powers being used for? If your powers are deemed useful, well, what makes them useful, and in what ways are they being used?
I mean, we see the upper class. We see the family's up here, you know, the royal family up here, and then we see the miners down here, but we don't see anywhere in between.
Yeah.
And
it might
so,
not be any in between. That might be it. Which then it's like your society blows, guys. I don't know how you've lasted this long.
I don't know
right.
why I'm taking Maximus's side, because ultimately the royal family is a bunch of dicks who
yeah,
are.
but that's why I think Black Bolt can turn it around. I believe in Black Bolt.
Well, this is why this is an arc that we're trying to make for Black Bolt. When Black Bolt realizes, like, oh, this is a shitty situation that I've been putting my people in. Maybe I should stop doing that. And I think it would have been so much more interesting had Black Bolt had been the one to lose his powers, and the rest of the family exiles him, and then he gets that revelation of, oh yeah, this fucking sucks. And I feel like
that doesn't sound. I don't know. I think Black Bolt's revelation was last episode with the death of I forgot her name.
Locust.
Locust, with the death of Locust, because the whole time they've been dragging her through the jungle, she's been talking about how she's been forced to do this, and you know, the system's not fair, and you need to do right by us. And then her death, she's like, do better, Black Bolt. She even like looks right past Medusa, like, fuck you, Medusa. Just looks right at Black Bolt, like, you can be the king we deserve. Yeah, you can do it. I know you can. It's
in you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he also is a little hesitant to do it, because I think he still blames himself for his parents' death. Like, they should be here doing this ruling, not him.
Yeah.
And I think he's holding back and holding on to those, what he knows, because he's like afraid to make a mistake again. Yeah. Which is completely, I mean, that's coming from probably from his childhood. That's a child's thing. You think, oh God, if I do this again, I'm going to get in trouble, or I'm going to hurt someone again. I can't. And that's a really, and I mean, it's a big thing to get over. And I'm pretty sure Medusa wasn't I'm pretty sure she wasn't helping.
No. And like, nobody is helping, because everyone is constantly reminding Black Bolt, you could kill everyone you love.
Exactly. Why are you doing this? He hasn't spoken in how many years? 20 plus years. Yeah. I don't understand also, I mean, after all these years, they have the room for Melton face guy. What's his name? I can't remember now.
Mortis. I keep calling him Mordo, but that's the name of the guy from Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I mean, they have a room for him. I'm pretty sure they had a room for Black Bolt where he could, you know, if like he did talk or something like that, especially in the sleep. Can you imagine if he talked in the sleep?
Yeah. I mean, that was where he went to think in the first episode, where Lockjaw shows up and takes him away. So that was where they locked him up.
So why couldn't he, like, sounds really weird, why couldn't he, like, record, like, a statement of what he wanted to say, record it in that room with no one else around, because he still has a voice, and he's just going to blow everything away.
You know,
well, maybe the recording device would blow up.
You know, exactly. I feel like it would destroy anything he tried to, even if he whispered. Like, just an oof out of his mouth blew up a car. Like, I don't think his voice can be recorded.
Well, we don't know. So
you're right, we don't know. I mean, and he's probably never wanted to try.
Right. Yeah, he probably never wanted to try. But I'm just saying, I mean, if they have all this technology and stuff, I mean, there might be a way to do it. I
have an idea.
I hope at some point they do have a technology to at least let him talk and then want him to tell everyone off.
I have an idea. They're going to give him a little device, and it's going to be like Stephen Hawking's speech box, where he
It's going to be like the Ood.
The what?
The Ood from Dr.
Ood. Oh.
No, I think it's going to be more like human technology, like Earth technology. I know. Just like he types out in like shorthand what he wants to say, and the computer says it for him. And it's actually Anson Mount's voicing the computer.
He's got a smartphone.
He's got a smartphone. There's no texting features on their stupid smartphones.
I know, but I'm just saying, just give him a smartphone.
He had to hold it to his chest. It's like,
do they not have
a text feature?
Do they not have paper in Adelan?
Yeah, they
I just
must.
Understand. You don't have a text? I mean, hello. You could text Suri. You could text Suri and have her say it. Or, I mean, there are text to speech options on it.
Yeah, I think that the option at the end is he's gonna have to have like a typey thing so he can speak his own words, which is I think I said this in the very first episode. I was disappointed we didn't get like the voice of our main character because all of his words were coming out of Medusa's mouth and it felt like he didn't have his own voice, which yeah, I know he doesn't, but that's not the point.
Yeah. How's he getting paid?
Sucks. We've all said it sucks. We don't like it because Medusa is not conveying really what he wants. And we know that. We kind of figured that out this episode.
I think she was. I think prior to this she was doing a good, accurate translation job. I think now she's skewing the details and he's not happy with her.
No. We do have so we have the gang all back together, and then they're trying to figure out what they're going to do from here. They all split off into their own little Scooby gang, splitting up and looking for clues.
They're like split up, and I'm like, no! Why does everyone want to split up? Don't split up the party. That's the number one rule in D&D. Do not split the damn party. Don't do it. Stop that.
Stop it. I mean, I don't know. There was so much going on actually in this episode that it was like, okay, we're here now. Okay, we're doing this now. We're doing this now. Okay.
Well, we have who was it that went? Medusa, Black Bolt. They went to go look for Crystal because where the fuck has she been?
Playing around with fucking boy toy Dave. Mr. No Personality. He has no personality.
I think I think his personality is that he doesn't have one.
He's California dude. That's like in Hawaii. He's California dude in Hawaii.
Well, these writers aren't clever enough to make that interesting.
No. He's not interesting.
The only person they made interesting was his ex-girlfriend, and she was a bitch.
Yeah. I was upset. I was upset with that. Like, I'm glad they did that because, you know, everyone that meets them can't be just infatuated with them. So it was interesting to see that.
The bitch knows about the Inhumans because, you know, she watches the news.
And she's all like, oh, they might be dangerous, blah, blah. Did she do anything to you besides burn your phone because you were trying to...
Exactly.
I love that.
But that's it. She's like, they could be dangerous. I'm like, what about anything that they did besides her being a bitch to you? Like, Crystal was being a bitch to her.
And you know, when him and Louise pretend to be together and all that, it's like, if it wasn't Louise and it was Crystal, it's exactly what happened. Yeah. She was jealous.
Yeah.
She was jealous, and she didn't like the fact that he accepted this Inhuman as a regular person, as, you know, no one that's not going to hurt you or anything like that. And she just was mad, and she was jealous. And now the cops think she's crazy because she locked someone up in the car.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like Louise a little bit in this episode, but she's still annoying.
Oh, of course she's annoying. I think that's the point of her character. But I from the start thought she was interesting and awesome.
I do love the fact that she automatically thinks she's going to the moon with them.
I know. I'm like, oh, honey, I hate to break it to you.
We all know you're not going.
We all know you're not going.
And then Bolt looks at Medusa, and then Medusa's like, yeah. And then the cops show up, and she's like, oh, we need to have this talk. Girl, sorry.
Now, can we talk about Karnak and Gorgon, you know, the guy in the damn title?
Yes. Which, for Gorgon's name being in the title, he didn't really do much except fight.
No.
But you know what? I liked that they teamed up, and he took on Karnak's role a little bit. They reversed roles just a little bit. So I think they realized together they are a really good team, and they actually learned things from each other.
Yeah.
And now that Karnak's kind of, his powers are a little woo, you know, Gorgon kind of was like, well, I learned from you that this, and that, kind of thing. And it's like, it was the most interesting part of the show, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, seriously, he's like, they don't know you lost your powers, that your powers are on the fritz. They don't know.
Yeah. And
they did it. And so when he was like walking straight up to Aaron, and she's like, he wants me to shoot him.
Yeah.
She was freaking out.
And then they cut immediately to Karnak just going, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me.
And then he goes, hi, Aaron. And she goes, oh, and she runs and hides. It's just like, girl.
I love Karnak.
Oh, he's so funny. It was hilarious. But yeah, I love that. It's like the buddies. They're like buddies, and it's so funny. It's like a buddy comedy.
Yeah,
them two together. We just have to show about them too. Well, now that we can't. But,
well, I see. Okay, that scene bothers me because it set it up to be a fantastic thing, Because Mortis was like, I'm not going back. You can't make me go back. And he tries to take his mask off, and that was super interesting. But then, that whole struggle just seemed really we have to make it so that the building falls, and it seemed very, very, very scripted.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do
it's this needs to happen because it needs to happen, not because it happened. If that makes any sense at all.
And it happened right when things started to get interesting. When Cormac was talking to him about his past, about his Terrigenesis, what happened afterwards, and everything. And it was you got to see a part of Mortis that was that scared little kid.
Yeah, which was super interesting. Well, I don't think Mortis is dead. Mortis is somewhere without his face mask, which is probably really dangerous, but not the point.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't show his body, but yeah.
It honestly happened, and I was just so he's dead now?
I know. I felt so bad for Mortis, though. That's where it's really fun. They make you feel bad for the. We always liked Mortis because he was sarcastic. He wasn't good. He wasn't evil. He was just. Yeah. He was mad.
He's just an angry kid who got locked up because of something he couldn't control.
Yeah, and he didn't
Similar
understand.
To Black
and
Bolt.
All he wanted to do was to live. It's just to be himself, just to be.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hurt anyone, and and it was really kind of interesting. I mean, granted, afterwards he's like, "No, man, this kid scared the shit out of me. We want to put him down right away." I understand that it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
But
enough about rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis? Are you calling?
That's what I've been calling him.
Gordon? You've been calling rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mordon.
But we do have Gorgon, and they do have a lovely little fight scene. They've been bloodied up a bit more to make it more intense. But I haven't loved the action in this show, but this one it was kind of okay.
Yeah,
it's all right.
As good as the Iron, slightly better than the Iron Fist fights.
Ouch!
Ouch! Yeah, when Declan told Warren about her powers fading, she didn't believe him. But her back of her hand wasn't healing like it should.
Yeah.
So she's not infinite.
Right.
Her powers are disintegrating.
Well, we don't know because he said, "Have you ever gotten your DNA checked?" Which I would assume the genetic council checked it, but whether or
told her, yeah.
All
but
of
I
the
think
information.
Declan did because when she was laying on the thing, I think he drew blood from her. So I think he did it, and that's how he knew that she can't do this forever.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think he had time to analyze it, but I think he's just making
completely.
Assumptions, also to try to throw her off her game, which it worked.
Yeah, but I think he examined it enough to know that there was something off about her, and she wasn't in her back of her hand. The burn on the back of her hand wasn't healing quick, and she noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's realizing like so many lives, like in a video game, you have so many lives before you're dead.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, she didn't. Well, she didn't die, but you know what? I think can we have a moment of silence for Gorgon. Why gotta be black?
You know what? I thought that too. I was like, really?
I hate saying it. It happens. Same thing happened in a S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I said, there
And
can
it had
only
to be the darker black guy.
there can only be one. And it's like, that's just so ridiculous. Unless it's
no, Mac was darker than Trip.
No.
But unless
That's-
the whole like ensemble is like the Cosby Show or Blackish or something like that, then they abide by these rules.
Well, also the Cosby Show and Blackish are not shows you normally see people get murdered on.
Well, in Luke Cage, people got murdered, but you know what? Actually,
but you know, it's just one of those unspoken rules in Hollywood, and it really needs to not be.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think I like Luke Cage so much, is because it did deviate from that, and
Well, that's Netflix too.
and you know, and watching this show just reminds me of why I should be watching other things like Luke Cage, but.
Yeah, it's sad because I really, really, really like Gorgon, and I think he was really his character was really developing. From the me smash kind of thing, you know how he was
and
to a more thinking.
See, that's why I don't think he's dead, because him and Luis even had a thing where they were flirting a little.
They better have the thing. I'm sorry, he better not be dead because I was
like, I don't believe that. So I'm sorry.
Adorable. Him and Luis, I'm sorry, I ship that all day long.
Yeah,
because I was so adorable.
Because the scene happened, and I'm like, the building fell on him, okay. And then they all were around him, and Karnak was like, he's dead. And then they even showed next week, and they're like putting a cloth over him, and I'm like, what? It had no impact, and it really didn't feel real.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's not real. I like them.
I don't know.
Well, we end off the episode with a bunch of more people dying.
Oh, yeah, right, because it's funny because it came back from commercial to them ambushing the guys who were going to come assassinate him. And then Maximus just cuts, is his name Tybor? The fuck? Yeah. Just cuts his throat. And I'm like, we just came back from commercials and you're cutting a guy's throat. Like, hold on. You gotta ease into this. You can't just start off by cutting some guy's throat.
What I'm thinking is that he's in that room with those two people that are sitting there, and you can't see their face. What if, like, under their head, they're going, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on?" They're freaking out underneath those roofs. We just gotta stay still, pretend if we just stay still, they don't know we're here.
They never explained those guys, did they?
Are they like those soldiers in front of Buckingham Palace?
No, I think they are.
There's something to do with that pool.
Yeah,
right
they like control, or they get the broadcasts from Earth, like, because in the pool is where they were showing the, like.
Yeah. So I don't know. But
they play a role in the comics, and I can't quite remember. But they didn't explain that at all.
So I'm just imagining that's what they're saying. Thinking underneath there, oh my God, please don't let us be no shit, no crap. That just meant, because that wasn't the first time that someone's had a fight in there.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It happens. They're just like, oh crap, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I bleed easy. Are there more than one? If there's more than two, do they take shifts, or do they? I don't know. Do they tap? Do they sit on a hole in the ground? We don't know.
Yeah. Do they never sleep ever?
But yeah, no, they don't explain those people. They're just there.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for the kid, because we are not seeing his visions, and the more stress Max puts on him, the harder it is for him to say, because he's scared to say the wrong thing.
Yeah. And
he end up dead. And I love the fact, I do love when he's like, well, were we happy or angry or happy? He's like, happy. And he's like, were we laughing? How do you know we were happy? He's like, well, you only gave me two options and you weren't angry. So, and poor kid, he just got his powers, really. He doesn't know how they work. And you're just grabbing him and throwing him into some kind of weird spaz. And it's just horrible. It's like, poor kid.
Stop touching that poor boy.
Oh, yeah. Quit wiping blood, other people's blood on his face, please.
Right?
Thank you.
See, because the way he touched his face was so deliberate, I thought he, like, drew an M on his cheek, but then it cuts and it's just, like, 2 splotches, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
I thought he'd do something, like some kind of glyph or
Symbol.
something on this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, or, like, the royal sigil or something.
Something. But Max is going nuts, so...
Yeah.
He's looking a little crazy.
He's paranoid.
Of course he is, because he knows what he's doing is not exactly
And there
right.
was actually an assassination attempt, so his paranoia is reinforced. Which is never good.
Nope. I did find it, I mean, the little things I found when Crystal finally kissed him and her and Dave finally kissed. She's like, you kissed me. He's like, well, yeah.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
He's so weird. Am I the only one who thinks he's, like, so weird?
He kind of is, but, you know, at the same point, I think it's kind of cute because he seems
kind of rapey. I don't know.
No, she's so naive, but and then Medusa comes in, Crystal, and I think it's just like, okay, do I have
to kick the shit out of this human?
I know, it's like, you know what, Medusa, chill your rockets. I mean, she's a teenager or mid-20s, or, you know, lower 20s.
She met him 20 hours ago.
I know, but still, she hasn't had any of this interaction with anyone else besides them, and it's like, just let it be.
And I say that, and Karnak slept with what's-her-face, so not even all that surprising.
But just let her be. Just let her be. For once, she was like, I think she actually felt like a normal teenager kind of thing. She was, you know, had a little piece. I think it's, even though she says she wants to go back, I think if she did go back, she would want that freedom. I don't think she'd want to be locked in her room kind of thing away from everyone. I think she would be like, nope, this isn't happening. I got a taste of what it's like out there.
Yeah. Or maybe she goes back and wants a more active role in society. Like, it seemed like she did nothing all day. Maybe she wants to actually make a difference.
Medusa protected her so much. It's just like, she's overbearing. She's like a hover parrot. She's like a helicopter mom. But
helicopter sister. Yeah. Well, their parents died. She was still very young when the parents died.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I understand she has to protect. She feels like she has to protect her, but you know, you have to let go at some point. Mm-hmm. I'm learning that.
Because if you hold on too tight, she starts making out with human boys she just met.
Well, you know, when you go to a new restaurant, you know, you want to, you know, try things on the menu.
Yes, let me try a bland white human boy.
No one said this was her final choice. She just wanted a sample.
He's bread.
He's what?
He's
bread.
He's bread.
White.
That's what he is. He's bread. She ordered bread.
It's the free bread you get.
No. See, well, it's not the free bread that you get, because you know they somewhat bake that. This is the bread that they bought at the market, and because they were out of the bread and they ran across the street. Yeah. They ran across the street and they didn't even unwrap the loaf. They just put it down. It's still in the market bag that they got it from. It's in the tote bag, and they just left it on the table.
Yeah. But like I said, there was like everything was all over the place in this episode, but it made you more confused than anything. And like the good points were the Maximus parts, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are always the good parts.
And between Karnak and Gorgon were amazing. And the rest were just kind of confusing, especially the ones between Black Bolt and Medusa. You're just like, huh? What's going on? I don't know. Stop.
Kind of why even sometimes I wish they gave us subtitles for his signing. Yeah. So that we know what he's actually saying. Even though
versus what she's saying.
Exactly. Even though we can guess by his reaction, but still.
Sometimes the looks on his face is like pure. If looks could kill, Medusa would be dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it'd be terrible if his looks killed. Because he's just got the power frown all day long.
And then he gets really like...
Yeah.
You're just like, oh shit, something's going down.
Oh.
And then she's like, what he said was he has to go to the bathroom. And you're like, no, that's not what he said. Unless he really has to.
What if he did have to go to the bathroom and she didn't say that?
Unless he really has to go to the bathroom real bad right now.
Okay, well, I think what we make up happening is more interesting than what the actual show has going on. Anything else that we want to talk about? Anything we missed?
This was the weakest episode for me, just because I feel like Gorgon's death didn't have the impact it really should have had. And it's unfortunate because I really liked him. But
there was too much going on in this episode for that to have an impact.
Well, I think they only named this episode after him simply because he died, but they didn't build it up properly. Yeah. And it really should have been the Gorgon-centric episode. And because it wasn't really so focused on him, I wasn't expecting him to die.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were going for, but it made me upset.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so next episode.
This show. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but this show, Black Bolt needs to speak at somebody and blow them and just incinerate them. Like it has to happen.
I don't know. I want to see the effects of the powers. I want to see like him, just blink and then maybe someone will explode. I want to see something cool.
Because all I can think of is the comics where Black Bolt just yells no at Thanos. Like, I want to see that.
It's like Darth Vader at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
No!
But next episode 7, Havoc in the Hidden Land. And the only synopsis I can find is as follows. The royal family returns to Adelan and comes face to face with Maximus.
Can a truce be reached, or is it all-out war inevitable?
I think it's, that first one.
Yeah. You think it's a truce?
Yeah, it's going to be a truce. Everything's going to be fine.
I think there's going to be a conflict, but...
Oh, yeah! I think Maximus is gonna freak out. He's gonna, my dream's coming true. I gotta hide. He's gonna throw everything in between him and his brother right now.
Well, maybe the next episode will be Triton's return.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
That'd be fun, and maybe Gorgon's too. Maybe they're saving him for the finale if he's not actually dead.
Yeah.
Well, because this death episode is fucking shit. So maybe we can. So maybe if you want to bring him back, then that would be somewhat satisfying. I'm just hoping that I'm just waiting for something to happen where like I'll say to myself, maybe watching this was worth it. I haven't been liking this show so far. It's not the worst that Marvel has put out.
There's so much they could have done with it, but they're
it's just kind of blah,
I like parts of it, but yeah, no.
It's like
as a whole.
it's like plain oatmeal.
Yeah.
It's like oatmeal with no butter or brown sugar or cinnamon or anything.
Or no oatmeal, rather.
It's just
just
water.
Hot water.
Not even hot. It's lukewarm.
And sitting out on the porch all day.
Oh, come on.
On that note.
Just getting gross with it now.
Okay, let's stop. So with all of that said, that has been our show. Clio, where can people find you?
They can find me at Clio Moto on Twitter, Twitch, and Pinterest.
Hey. And Rachel, what about you?
You can find me at Twitter at VikingWitch76 and on Twitch at VikingWitch.
And you can find me and all of my giggles and gore and monsters and mayhem here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the week, throughout the life at ToNowhereland. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society. And this is right there. And this has been the ASOTV podcast for Inhumans. And you can find all of us here on YouTube at ASOTV, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams, and on the Snapchats, and whatever the fuck the kids are using. Will be coming to Twitch very, very soon. We will. And if you don't have a Twitch account, that's fine. You don't even need the account. Just go directly to the website Twitch and look for us. Same name, It doesn't cost a thing to sign up. If you want to subscribe to us, we will be doing all our live shows there pretty soon, and we'll be uploading the completed stream right here on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about that going anywhere either. So that has been our show. Good night, everyone. Thank you all for watching.
Good night. I gotta press the buttons. I forgot. That's my job.
Ooh, what does this button do?